if you're a Christian, you might know this feeling. So let's say you've been talking with an LDS friend of yours, and you want them to know the Jesus of Holy Scripture. And maybe you've pointed out to them that, hey, Mormonism teaches some problematic things, like the idea that God was not always God, or that he may have had other gods above him, or maybe that he was once a man and had to learn to become God. And they respond to you with, I don't believe that, or that's not official doctrine, or hey, that's not in our scriptures, or some variation of that same theme. And you're left scratching your head. You know something's wrong, but you can't quite put your finger on it. You can't quite point it out to them. But here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to point out. That it doesn't actually matter what they personally believe or what is or isn't currently emphasized in LDS doctrine. Now let me explain that. Now I know that many LDS are sincere in their faith. I'm not questioning that. Just hear me out. So you can propose the following scenario to your LDS friend, and I think it'll cause similar gut reactions in LDS and non-LDS alike. So let's suppose that there's a church somewhere whose members privately, when they go home, practice idolatry. Now, it's not an official teaching of their church. It's not something they talk about on Sunday mornings. Yeah, sure, maybe some past leaders taught idolatry, but it's not emphasized in their modern publications at all. It's just simply a matter of course that when these members go home, as a matter of their personal interpretation or private opinions, they just happen to keep a little idol over there in the corner of their house. A little statue of Moloch in the corner of their house, a little gold statue, and they bow down before it, they burn incense to it, they express their devotion to it. Now, their current church leaders, don't get me wrong, their current church leaders don't teach them to do that. In fact, their church leaders emphasize that, hey, those earlier leaders were only expressing their personal opinions. They weren't officially expressing church doctrine, and current members aren't obligated to accept those teachings. They even point out, hey, less than half of our members even participate in Moloch-related practices. So now the big question that comes out of that illustration is this. Is that okay? Is that okay? I think most Latter-day Saints would be horrified at the thought of something like that. And obviously, we're not supposed to worship idols. And they would agree that such a theological hot take as idol worship is not within the bounds of acceptable belief, and it should be corrected. Such a church would be obligated to do more than just de-emphasize the practice on Sunday mornings, or to call it a matter of personal opinion. So maybe this illustration helps LDS members understand where Christians are coming from. A religion, I would say to you, a religion is shaped just as much by what it prohibits and permits as by what it propositionally teaches. So to leave room in Mormonism for the idea that the Most High might only be more high, or that the one who's worthy of all worship is simply the one worthy of our worship, that the eternally unchanging God may once have had in himself a variation or shadow of turning, that he grew to become what he is now, or that he's merely the only God with whom we have to do. Understand, these ideas are unthinkable to Christians, and yet they're tolerated within LDS history, within LDS membership, and within LDS leadership. So it just won't do. It just won't do to say that, hey, that stuff's deep doctrine, or hey, people are entitled to their opinions, or that's not scripture, some Mormons might say. It doesn't even really matter if some ideas aren't found in modern LDS canonized scripture, or even that your LDS friend personally rejects them. What matters is that LDS prophets taught them, and that the system makes room for them. That needs to be reckoned with. So maybe this will give, your Mormon friends something to think about. Maybe it'll help you in your outreach to them. And if you yourself are a Latter-day Saint, maybe this will put a little rock in your shoe. Maybe give you something to noodle on for a little while. I do care. I really do. I want you to know the biblical Jesus. Much love to all of you, and God bless.